Hola a todos! I got an A star in A-level Spanish in June of 2024, so let me give you my best bits of advice. I have loads of A-level Spanish videos already on this channel with more to come, so let's kick off this academic year with loads of tips to make Spanish your easiest subject. Vamos! Okay, first off, a little warning that your class will likely be really small. I only had 2 other students in my class, so Spanish will likely be the subject with the least number of people taking it. So take that as a good thing. It means your teacher has more time to focus on you. It's really important you take this opportunity to ask questions, put your hand up, volunteer for things, etc. The only disadvantage is you won't have many people to practice speaking with, especially if your class is really small. But you can always practice with people online, and I'll talk about how to practice speaking later on. My first actionable tip is learn your vocabulary lists. Your exam board or textbook will have a defined vocab list. Learn these words as soon as possible, and this even includes the Year 13 words. It will of course take lots of time, probably months and months, but it is also super beneficial. The earlier you do it, the better. Spend like 20 minutes a day going through flashcards. Now I'd recommend the app Anki for this. I've got Anki decks for various A-level exam boards for free, and that's linked below, along with instructions if you've not used Anki before. It's similar to Quizlet, but just better in my opinion. Okay, moving on to accent marks. At GCSE, these weren't compulsory to learn or use, and would give you a minor error if you missed them out. But at A-level, these are really important, and you will lose a lot more marks if you get them wrong. Luckily, there are rules you can learn, and I'll put some links in the description to help you learn those. Next up, let's talk about consuming Spanish media. Watch movies, videos, listen to music, podcasts, reading books, and all that stuff will help you so much with your confidence in Spanish and also your ability to learn new words and contexts that you're not so familiar with. At GCSE, the topics were much easier, mainly about family and hobbies and school, but at A level, you will encounter more complex social topics, so reading the news even is incredibly beneficial. This brings me on to my next point about learning words outside of your specification. When you encounter unfamiliar words from various media you're consuming, you firstly should find the translation or like the definition of that word and then log it somewhere. I used to search up the word on a Spanish dictionary, and the one I like to use is SpanishDict.com, and then take a picture of the word and its translation on my phone. With these pictures, I put the words into an Anki deck at the end of each week. And this is how you learn new vocabulary. I gathered around 900 words over year 12 and 13, and you can purchase that deck for £1 from the link in the description. But obviously, it's even more effective finding and compiling those words yourself. Another big thing is speaking. You do need to regularly practice this. An hour a week should be good enough, so find yourself a partner or buddy to practice with, even if it's online or like over the phone. Talk about whatever you want, but really focus on conjugating verbs. The more you practice, the more natural you will become. You won't have to think about verb endings, etc. You're quite lucky if your school has a specific Spanish assistant, maybe like a Spanish-speaking parent who comes in to practice with you. If you really don't have anyone to speak with, speak to yourself, narrate your own life, but in Spanish. I'll see if I can run some sort of group speaking session. Let me know if you'd like that. With the photo cards, or the stimulus cards, which is what they're actually called, you get 5 minutes to prepare 3 questions. Do not write full answers to these, just bullet points, as you won't have enough time. At GCSE, you would write long answers, but here you will just not have enough time. And once you have a go at the stimulus cards, you'll see what I mean. 12 minutes at GCSE is a lot, but 5 at A level goes by very quickly. Vale, continuamos. There aren't really more tenses at A level, apart from the subjunctive. This mainly includes the present and the imperfect subjunctive, which you would have briefly seen at GCSE, with sea as an example of the present subjunctive, and fuera for the imperfect subjunctive. But now you have to learn how to conjugate verbs for these moods, because technically the subjunctive isn't a tense, it's a mood. I'll put resources for that in the description as well. Now I'm going to talk about needing or having a tutor. So let's say you have anywhere from 3 to 5 hours of lessons a week at like your school or college. This will be your main source of learning the A-level content, of course. However, if your teachers aren't really good enough, or you want extra help, perhaps with a book or film that you find harder, you may look into getting a tutor. For most people, you don't need a tutor. You can find information online, mainly with videos we've put on this channel, and teach the content yourself. but we also do offer tutoring at A-level, so for more information go to astarspanish.com/tutoring. Next, I'm going to tell you to learn irregular verb endings. Assuming you still know and still remember the regular endings for the main tenses, now it's time to learn and practice the irregular ones. There's obviously loads of them, but focus on verbs you think are common, stuff like ser, estar, tener, hacer, etc. At this point, you will know the gaps in your knowledge of verb endings, so just practice them. Towards the end of year 12, you will have to pick a topic to research for your IRP. This is your independent research project, which is a part of the speaking exam. There's videos on the IRP already on this channel. Anyway, my advice is pick a topic that interests you and is broad enough to research. I would also advise posing your title as a question, so there's two sides of an argument for you to discuss. Do not let your IRP just be a Wikipedia page of facts. It has to be a discussion in the exam. To learn the content of the 12 modules, I recommend using mind maps. Now, I do have mind maps for all of the AQA modules and possibly Edexcel coming soon, already on astarspanish.com/A-level, and I do recommend you use those to aid you, but it may be worth making your own, with your own information and statistics that you want to memorize for the speaking exam. You will probably study the book in year 12 and the film in year 13 or vice versa. The book you may be asked to purchase so you can annotate the copy, but the film you will likely only watch in class once. In my case, we watched the film in class once at the end of year 12, and then I bought the film Volver on YouTube Movies so I could watch it myself whenever I wanted. This is a good investment, I highly recommend it. Yes, it cost me around 10 quid, but I was able to watch the film many times over in the lead up to my final exam. Knowledge of the text and film is really important for essay writing, so find a way to watch the film at home. Okay, now some advice with specifically essay writing, which is your paper 2. When writing essays, I think it's a good idea to write your points chronologically, if possible. For example, starting off using evidence from Act 1, then Act 2, then Act 3. This ensures you cover a wide range of evidence from all parts of the book or film. Also, even before you start learning a book or film in class, have a look at the essay questions. Get an idea of what the questions will look like in the exam. And once you've covered it mostly, start answering essay titles and get your teacher to mark them. Essays should not feel intimidating to write, get lots of practice and build a basic structure for you to follow every time. This includes picking sentence starters you like to use. I would, for example, always use como punto de partida at the start of my first paragraph. My last bit of advice is on paper 1, which is the reading, listening and translation paper. Use past papers from other exam boards to practice early on. I did AQA, so in year 12 I did all the Edexcel AS paper ones and the AQA ones, and then moved on to Edexcel A-level paper 1, etc. I personally found paper 1 quite easy and enjoyable, so I made sure to complete all the papers I could. Paper 1 is all about vocabulary, which is why I keep banging on about memorizing vocab. Vale, and that's all the advice I have for you today. I'll make sure there's lots of A-level Spanish videos to come this academic year, so subscribe to see those. Tell me in the comments what made you pick Spanish at A-level and what exam board you're doing, even the book and film you're studying, and I'll try to get some videos made on that. Adios!